would like to start by asking you a question. If I show you this number, $1 million billion, 12 zeros after the one, linked to the American educational system, what does it remind you of? What do you think this number represents? $1 trillion. Any idea? Besides a lot of money. This is the total amount of the money that American students owe to the US financial system. $1 trillion. This is about 50 times what the French social security deficit is. This is about equivalent to the cost of the war in Iraq. So this is a lot of money, and many economists call that a bubble, another bubble that's ready to explode. Because right now the economy is slowing down, so students cannot borrow money, and they can't pay back, or they're having a harder and harder time to pay back, so the whole pyramid might fall down. So the reason why you must be asking, but what's the relationship with the rest? This allows me to introduce something we have been looking at in Haiti in the framework of what we do, based on asking our students about their life, about their needs, etc., etc. And we are realizing that the economic model behind the university, the actual university system, not only in developed countries, but also even more in countries like ours, developing countries, has to reinvent itself. This is important because I'm going to tell you a little story. It's the story of a turkey. You all know what a turkey is. It's an American turkey. Again, we're in the US. It's an American turkey. And this turkey is a very happy soul. Since he was born, he's very well fed. He's always warm when it's cold outside. When he's sick, they gave him a bunch of antibiotics, so he's never sick. And one independent organization one day did a survey on those turkeys. They asked them who they thought their best friend was. And they all answered unanimously. The human beings are their best friend. But there is something that happens in November. You know, at the end of November, we have a Thanksgiving. So we slaughter all those turkeys, and they end up in our plates. And we all love to eat those turkeys. I mean, they are so good. So the turkeys have a problem is that they don't learn from previous generation. And they are not interested in knowing what's coming to them. So every generation of turkey is slaughtered the same way, in same quantity, without them having a clue what's going on. And every generation considers human beings as their best friends. The reason I'm talking about that is that our higher education system today, and this is based on what I'm seeing, what I've discussed with students, I'm in no way an expert in education or even in distance learning. But something is happening. The system is reconfiguring itself. And if you look at what's happening in America, and starting in other countries now, the way to deliver not content, but degrees, diplomas, is changing a lot. And this is what I want to talk about, based on those little things. So if you could go up on the number one, the first on the mind map. You know probably that we have been talking about distance learning a lot on the island and in many other countries, like the tool to massify education. It hasn't happened at all. There are many experiences. There are many experiences in Haiti. You have a lot of experiences in the Dominican Republic. And look, there are 20 million people on this island. Give me the name of only one island in the Caribbean that even stands close to us. A market of 20 million people. It's almost half the population of France only on this island. So we should represent a market that should be the master of at least the Caribbean universe. So we have a huge market. But the point here is that we want to design a new model, and we have an opportunity to design this new model at the same time as developed countries are going to do it. So if we don't do it, they will come with their offer to us, and we will have no other choice than to accept it and pay for it, and pay a very big price for it. So the context for that, and you're going to understand why we have today a puzzle that we didn't have 1 year and a half ago. And I couldn't talk to you about those things 1 year and a half ago because some pieces of the puzzle were missing. But the country and the organizations that are going to be able to assemble this puzzle correctly are going to have a gold mine in many aspects. So we have a concentration of the offer of education in the main city. You know, in Haiti we have Port-au-Prince and the rest of Haiti. In the Dominican Republic you have a few big cities, but mostly the offer is concentrated in the cities. So it's very hard for a student from the province to come and pay everything he has to pay for the housing, for transportation, etc., apart from the school fees. Second, and this is what we have been observing in Haiti a lot, especially after the earthquake, there were about 800,000 handicapped people. This number of 4,000 amputees after the earthquake is largely under the reality, according to many doctors. So we have a huge population, almost 1 million people, that have a handicap and cannot go to the infrastructures called universities. The third thing is that, yeah, but you're going to tell me, we have a lot of online content, we don't need anything, but those online content that are free, they all have a characteristic. They don't deliver credit, they don't deliver a degree. So you probably know that about 11% of students who start an online course, only 11% of this amount finishes the course. For many reasons. One of the reasons being that they don't know why they should spend so much time, because they're not even going to get a credit for that they can value in the university system. So what's online doesn't allow them to reintegrate the university system. In Haiti we have more than 10,000 kids finishing high school every year. And we have just a few thousand places in the most recognized universities. So a lot of those kids are on the street after finishing high school. Now, what about the degrees that are awarding? I mean, the programs online that are awarding a degree. There are many. You have Phoenix Online, you have University of People, that's not accredited yet. You have many universities offering online degrees, but those online degrees, they are expensive. They are comparable, the cost is comparable to what you would pay if you were going in the presential way, physically, to class. So the cost here is a big issue. What we do mostly in Haiti and Dominican Republic is delocalized degrees. We have a partnership with a French university, with an American or Canadian university, and they allow us to have our students register to those degrees that are managed by them in their countries, most of the time. But there is a cost issue here still, even if we can manage to get some scholarships for them. We can't pretend massify education using this kind of tool. So we have to develop our own machine here at home to be able to manage that. Tutoring is a big issue also. Why do we use foreign degrees? Because we don't have to worry about the tutoring. Who is going to be tutoring the student? Who has the competencies? It's very expensive in France to do that. It's very expensive in the US. And we can't pretend it's going to be free in Dominican Republic or in Haiti. In Haiti we have tried to make it free and working with voluntary people. And it hasn't worked. I mean, there are here and there things happening, but nothing systemic, nothing that can really change the system. The infrastructures, that's one point. 1.5 years ago, infrastructures, and by infrastructure, I'm not talking about the infrastructure of the school, the universities. I'm talking what if you have tomorrow a degree awarding program online. How will you access it? In Haiti, tens of thousands of kids in the province, they don't have energy, they don't have internet, they don't have nothing, they don't have a computer, they have nothing. Today we have tablets that cost $100, $80, $70 that can be part of a toolbox that has all the content on it. So we mitigate two problems. The energy problem, because a decent tablet should give you 4 or 5 hours a day of battery, even when the battery is average. And we can put the content on it even if you don't have the internet, they can work at home. You all know that part of the academic competency of a student is acquired from time work at home. So to have our students competitive compared to American or European students, we need to be able to give them a way to work, to study at home. We can't be obliged to stay at the university 24 hours a day when they want to study. So today we have this technology. 1.5 years ago, the only tablets we had were the iPad that were costing $600, $700, $800. So it was too expensive or something like that. Today the price went down. Android tablet will cost you around $70. So it's an interesting solution to mitigate this infrastructure problem. Haitian students in Dominican Republic, I have to tell you that we fight a lot in Haiti to have a number on how many Haitian students there are in Dominican Republic. The Ministry of Education here, the Dominican Ministry of Education is talking about 9,000 to 10,000 students. We still don't know if those students are still active. Maybe they were students a few years ago, they are not anymore. Did they come back to Haiti? Are they working here? So we don't know. But every scenario, every simulation we make, aim at an investment from Haitian students in the Dominican Republic of between $50 million and $100 million a year. So this is a lot of money, and those students are middle-class students most of the time in Haiti. So they are the same population that frequents the Haitian private universities. So there is, what I'm saying here is that, I'm not complaining about the fact that Haitian students come to the Dominican Republic. I'm just saying that money, the economic model is not the issue. They are ready to pay, they find the right infrastructure, the right environment to study. So this is one thing to keep in mind. I'm going to talk about the US University. Quick evolving competency needs. I want to ask another question. Who in this room feels that technology is making their small kids more stupid than the previous generation or two generations before? Well, I'm glad to see a few hands. I'm not alone. A kid playing all day on the PlayStation or doing Facebook all day is not getting any smarter. No one is going to convince me of that. Kids today have a lower capacity to think critically, to innovate, to think out of the box. Look at how they do their homework. On Google, they cut and paste things. We used to have to read books. And believe me, technology feeds me, so I'm not going to talk bad about technology. But if I wanted to compare them, compare technology and the use we make of it to a human being, I would say that technology is probably a teenager today, has a long way to go. And probably the use we make of technology is probably still a little baby having his baby bottle. So we are still not using really technology, and our kids are not really using technology based on what technology can bring. I reassure you, my kids came out fine at the end and they started going to university, but that was a lot of work, and I'm still working on that. They were not very good at all those skills that we want our youth to have today, like critical thinking, etc., etc. So this is a huge issue. Many studies have been made that demonstrate that kids learning online are forced to read more, they are forced to be more autonomous, and they tend to develop those competencies more. And if you can do it hybrid, mixing online as well as presential training, it's even better. Can you go down a little? So the proposals, the solutions to that, it's really a piece of the puzzle. We don't have anything to reinvent. Content, it's all there. It's all out there. There are tons of contents out there. Incredible content. Do we need to reinvent a mathematics course? Do we need to reinvent an introduction to computer, or programming in Java, or programming in Python course? There are millions out there in English, in French, in Spanish, all better than each other. So we don't need to redo that. We can use those contents. All we need to develop is a human structure around it to make sure the student experience is good. And this is a new business. Carlos was talking about business models yesterday. And this is really a new business model that's emerging. And I'm going to give you a little example in a few seconds. So we use existing content. It's all out there. So we focus in our countries on added value. Where can we bring added value to existing content? And we can bring added value to existing content. But let's not waste resources in recreating a math course, a programming course, etc. I'm talking about technology because this is my field, so I don't want to talk about other things. We can have a very important, in Haiti, it's a huge discussions between the public stakeholders, the private stakeholders, etc. The STEMs, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, basic skills that normally kids coming out from high school should have. And in Haiti, at least, they are very insufficient. And there are experiments being launched using those kind of distance learning protocols to see if we can help more kids who don't have access to a classroom or a good teacher or a good professor develop this type of improve their capacity in the STEMs, because it's important for them to be able to start university and start level in those areas. Evaluation has to be made the traditional way. You need to develop centers, affiliate centers that will manage evaluations in a physical way. And maybe you can go down a little. So I'm going to give you an example, very concrete example of this intuition we've had and we've been looking at for a while. And we were starting doing it in Haiti. The University of Georgia Institute of Technology, is partnering with a MOOC provider. You know what the MOOCs are, the massive open online courses, called Udacity, udacity.com. It has been created by a professor at Stanford. They are partnering to deliver the first online master degree that will be signed by Georgia Tech. So you will be a real student from Georgia Tech. It's not going to be a program that's going to deliver maybe a little certificate that means nothing. It's going to be a real master degree from Georgia Tech. The total cost for the whole master degree is going to be $7,000. When it costs $50,000 to spend a year at Georgia Tech. So why would a student in the Dominican Republic or in Haiti bother registering in our universities when they can get Georgia Tech master degree for $7,000, $8,000 for the whole world? Why would they do that? I don't see any reasons for it. So this is coming to us, and if this works, the economic model, as you imagine they have behind it, they made an experiment. The creator of Udacity made one of the first MOOC experiments. He put his artificial intelligence course from Stanford online, and he got 150,000 registered students following this course during one semester, which means basically between September and December, January, February. During the first semester, he got 150,000 applicants. He just asked from them that they buy his book. His book cost around $50. So you do the math. Even if 2,000, 3,000 buy the book, you have an idea of the amount of money he's making without any effort. Having a bunch of teaching assistants from China, from India, from many countries, handling the students online. So this is a new model, and based on that, he created Udacity. So we have to look at this because this is coming to us at a big speed. Other Ivy League universities, well, the admission to this program is like the admission to Georgia Tech, so it's going to be selective. So they don't evaluate the degree. But other Ivy League universities are going to follow, and then more medium, average universities are going to do the same. So why would our students register for our universities when we can have the best for basically the same amount of money? So this is the question, and designing this new model, it's a new domain, it's a new job creation, it's improving the governance, because we need good governance in our universities to do that. It's creating revenues for the universities, and it's making the students stay at home. I've seen a lot of billion Attie today, and I think this is a very good way for students to stay home by having this possibility to do that, because we know very well that we're not going to have tomorrow 1,000 beautiful campuses to receive all the students at a very good price. Thank you.